Polls have closed in Peninsular Malaysia as well as Sabah and Sarawak for Malaysia's 15th general election. 65% of eligible voters have cast their ballots as of 3 p.m. local time, according to the Election Commission. Some 21 million voters were registered and more than 200 seats in Parliament are at stake to determine the nation's next Prime Minister. It's expected to be a tight race with no clear winner in sight. Now, some voters in Sarawak, though, lined up in knee-deep floodwaters to cast their ballots, while several polling centres in flood-hit areas had to be relocated, according to local reports. This morning was also greeted with some sombre news of a sudden death of a candidate contesting a state assembly seat in the state of Pahang. It's the second death during the two-week campaign. A candidate for Padang Serai parliamentary seat in Kedah died earlier this week, reportedly due to health reasons. And for more, CNA's Saiful Bari Ismail joins us live now from Subang Jaya in Selangor. Now, Saiful, it's the close of the polls for GE15. How smooth has polling been in Peninsular Malaysia?
Well, generally, polling has been smooth in Peninsular Malaysia. There hasn't been reports of any major incidents in this part of the country. I'm at Lik Hang Chinese National School in Subang Jaya in the state of Selangor. This is the polling centre for the Subang parliamentary seat. Polling here has been smooth throughout the day. This is just one of many polling stations across the Malaysian peninsula, which has just closed. There are about 2,000 voters registered in this polling centre, and at the close of the polling, this centre has recorded close to 70% of voter turnout. And as at 3 p.m., the voter turnout at the national level is 65%. In previous elections, polling stations in Peninsular Malaysia closed at 5 p.m. However, this year, the Election Commission had extended the voting time by an hour to 6 p.m. This is to make it more convenient for Malaysians exercising their rights in the voting process and to increase voter turnout. Voters have taken advantage of the extended voting time despite the Election Commission earlier advising voters to go to the polling booths according to the proposed times and not cast their ballots at the last minute. Voters had been given a recommended voting time to prevent crowding in a bid to curb the spread of COVID-19. In the final hour between 5 and 6 p.m., I still saw many voters entering this polling station to cast their ballots. Some voters said they had errands to do earlier in the day and were only able to rush here in the final hour.
Thanks so much for that update, Saiful. That was Saiful Bari Ismail speaking to us live from Subang Jaya in Selangor. And for more, CNA's Leong Wai Kit joins us live now from Kota Kinabalu in Sabah. Wai Kit, the authorities say that voting in some of the flooded areas of Sarawak has been postponed. Will it delay vote counting as well?
Well, Angie, it's unlikely that the official counting and official results will be affected because we are talking about just 11 polling centres that are affected by bad weather. Of course, my background is quiet and dry because here in Sabah, the authorities say that none of the polling centres were affected by bad weather. This polling centre here is also closed, as Saiful Bari Ismail also said on his side of Malaysia. Voting has also ended. But back in Sarawak, now you would have seen on your TV screens now the impact of the floods affecting those interior areas of Sarawak. I myself have seen videos of murky water, people waddling in water, elderly sitting in sampans being pushed by young men and women towards voting centres. Now, this isn't the first time that Sarawak is affected by floods and bad weather during elections. In 2021, during the state elections, there was one seat where the ballot boxes couldn't reach a tally centre in time. Now, back here in Sabah, earlier this afternoon, I met Sabah Chief Minister Haji Noor. He's also the leader of the ruling Gabungan Rakyat Sabah coalition, and he said that the GRS coalition works very well with Barisan Nasional in Sabah, and that he hopes that they can win as many seats as possible. But I asked the Chief Minister under what conditions would he consider working with other coalitions. He politely sidestepped the question, saying that it's still too early for him to comment, and he preferred to wait for the official results tonight.